Hey students, welcome back to art class. It's Miss Mitchell. We are getting down to the last few weeks of school, and I know you guys are excited about that. So let's keep pushing through these last few weeks and finish strong. There is an art project for this week, and this week we're going to look at sandcastles. So just like we've been doing previous weeks as normal, there will be a one-question quiz for this week's participation exit ticket. And as always, if you are able to, be sure to upload pictures or a 5-second video of your artwork so that I can see what you have been working on. All right, let's get started. Today we're going to be looking at sandcastles. So let's think about this first. What kinds of things can you find or see at the beach? So here is a list or some pictures of some things you might see at the beach. We have a sun hat. You might wear a sun hat if it's really sunny to protect yourself outside, and also some sunglasses. And you might bring a beach chair if you're going to the beach. Something that you might build, like we are going to be doing today, drawing today, is a sandcastle. You might also see some palm trees at the beach. Not many trees at the beach, but they do sometimes have palm trees, especially if you go to Hawaii. You might bring some sandals with you, an umbrella, again to protect you from the sun. Something you might see out on the ocean is a boat. And you might see or pick up a few pebbles along the way, as well as some seashells. And if you are going to the beach, you might want to bring some sand toys or a beach ball with you. All right, so now let's talk about what is texture. Texture is one of our elements of art, and it means how something feels or looks like it feels. So we may not always be able to feel everything that we see. For example, if we're looking at a picture through a computer screen, we don't know necessarily how it feels, but we can think about how it feels. So, what word best describes the texture of this tree? We have rough, we have soft, we have squishy, and smooth. So, if you said rough, you are correct. Think about the bark on the tree. That part would be rough. What word best describes the texture of these shells here? We have fluffy, we have furry, we have bumpy, and we have spiky. So if you said bumpy, you are correct. We can look at those pictures of the shells right there, and you can see the ridges and the grooves on each of those shells. And so that makes all of them bumpy. If you said spiky, one of those shells might be spiky, the purple one right there, but not all three of those shells. So the best word would be bumpy. What word best describes the texture of the sandcastle? We have wrinkly, prickly, jagged, or gritty. So if you said gritty, you are correct. Gritty would describe the texture of the sand. Gritty means kind of a little bit rough, but you can feel the texture of each of those individual grains of sand. Today we are going to be drawing a sandcastle, so get out some paper and a pencil and let's get started. So your sandcastle does not have to look exactly like mine. I'm just showing you an example. Sandcastles can be drawn many different ways. So you can see here how I'm starting out. You can see the kind of castle line at the top of my sandcastle right there. And I drew kind of a bumpy line at the bottom to show the sand that the sandcastle is sitting on. The arch right there is the door, and I'm drawing some smaller arches for the windows. I'm going to make my sandcastle a little bit taller. I'm adding another section to my sandcastle. Right here, it's going to go to the side, the left side of my castle. And go ahead and add any other doors or windows that you would like to as well. And on the side, you can see that I am adding a kind of like a staircase. So that zigzag line is a staircase on the side of the castle. So let's go ahead and extend our castle even further. It's going to be even taller than before. You can see that I am overlapping parts of my sandcastle. Overlapping means that one part of the castle looks like it's in front of or behind another part of the castle. That gives it a sense of depth, a sense of space. And at the very top, I added the pointed part of the castle, the roof, I guess you could say, and I'm adding some texture to that roof as well. And I think I'm going to add another cone-shaped roof to the left side of my castle here, and I'm also going to add a flag. So think about any other sorts of decorations that you may want to add to your sandcastle. And just to add a little bit more to that right side there, I will add that staircase and then add some more windows or doors, maybe at the top right there. So you can think of those two doors there as being connected like the balcony. And just some other decorations you may think about adding. I added a starfish, you can see in the middle there, and some sand dollars on the left and the right side. So I've finished my castle here, and I'm just gonna finish off this drawing by adding a few more details here at the bottom. I'm gonna add the shovel that's stuck in the sand. And then on the right side, I think I'm going to add the bucket or the pail that's used to put the sand inside of. So there's the bucket, and don't forget the handle. And to the background, I'm going to add some water. So there's the line that separates the sand from the water. And then I'm going to draw another line towards the top that separates the water from the sky. So we have the sand, and then the water, and then the sky. And I'm adding a little sun to my sky and some clouds. And to make it look a little bit more like water, I'm adding those water lines to it. Alright, that's the end of my drawing tutorial. Once again, your sandcastle does not have to look exactly like mine. Be creative with it, have fun with it, and draw your own creative sandcastle. Add different kinds of elements and decorations to your sandcastle. The last thing to do is color.